Hardly anyone can resist the magic moment created by a candle. But candles which you find in stores many times are not meeting your requirements, expectations, or simply do not fit your table decorations. How great it would be if you could make a candle which would fit your need perfectly. It is not impossible. In this video, I will show you step by step how to make beautiful handmade candles like these ones at home. For today's candle making, we will need a ceramic cooker, water, a wax pot, another medium-sized pot, 100% natural soy wax, a thermometer, color dye, fragrance oil, tins, wick, and wick stabilizer. We will start by putting about an inch of water in the bottom of a medium-sized pot. Then place the wax pot into the medium-sized pot. Open an 8 ounces bag of soy wax and put the wax in the wax pot. This method is called the double boiler method. Melting the wax directly over the flame in a standard pot can get too hot and the wax can catch on fire. Link to this candle making kit I'm using today will be in the description below this video. Don't forget to put into the wax pot also the thermometer, and we should be all set. Now we turn on the cooker and watch together a time lapse of melting wax, which I find very satisfying. It only takes about 5 minutes for the wax to melt. Be sure to keep an eye on the temperature. You want it to generally be around between 160 and 185 Fahrenheit, which is approximately 70 to 85 Celsius. If it gets higher than that, take it off the heat. Do not heat wax about 275 Fahrenheit. It could catch fire. If it does, do not use water to put it out. It will cause the fire to spread. Use baking soda or pot lid to smother it. When the wax is melted, add candle dye of a color of your choice. I am adding here 1 whole block of dye. In the end, you will get an idea of how strong the coloring looks like, and you can make a decision if you want to use the same amount or less for your candles. Stir the wax and make sure the wax has turned into liquid and you don't have any solid pieces of dye in the pot. Let the wax cool to about 140 Fahrenheit, which is about 60 degrees Celsius. Once at the desired temperature, add your favorite fragrance oil. Each wax is different and requires a different amount of fragrance oil per pound. A safe bet would be 10 milliliters or one whole fragrance oil bottle, which comes with this candle kit, per 8 ounces of wax. Pour the fragrance into your double boiler and stir for 30 seconds or so to ensure it's evenly distributed. We suggest adding the fragrance just before pouring. This avoids prolonged heating of the fragrance, which may contribute to some of the fragrance being lost. While the wax is melting, adhere the wick to the bottom of the container. I'm using an old candle maker's trick with great success. As the wax starts melting, it will form a pool of liquid. Dip the metal tab of the wick into the melted wax, then quickly adhere to the bottom of the container, centered of course. After just a couple minutes, when the wax hardens, it will be stuck solid to the bottom. The optimal temperature to pour your wax into the container is around 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 60 degrees Celsius. So pay attention to your thermometer. The thermometer is included in the bundle, which makes the whole candle making process that much easier. It is very important you pour the wax at the correct temperature. Pouring too hot may cause excessive shrinkage, which may cause you to have to do multiple repours. On the other hand, pouring too cool may cause unwanted air bubbles and other defects on your candle's finish. Don't pour all the wax just yet. Save some in your boiler for after the initial pour sets. You may get a small sinkhole in the center around the wick. Coffee mugs, glassware, mason jars, anything that can withstand heat can be used as a container for a candle. I bought some mason jars and they've been just right, cheap too. Having a lid makes them a breeze to transport or ship as well, so you can easily give them as gifts. The wick, while attached to the bottom, may at first do some swaying in the liquid wax. You obviously want to ensure it stays nice and centered while the wax sets and hardens. Having an off-centered wick means it won't burn properly, and you don't want that. To stabilize the wick, we will use the wick stabilizer. Candles may be cooled at room temperature over the night. And this is how the candles look like after cooling off. Please remember to trim wick to 1/4 of an inch before lighting. Remember how I told you earlier to save some wax for later in case of air bubble? This is how an air bubble looks like. If you want to cover it, just pour another layer of wax on the top and that will take care of the problem. Well, I hope you followed along and were able to make just as beautiful candles as I have. And I hope you enjoyed the whole process as much as I did. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have learned something new today. I would really appreciate it if you could post a picture of your candles on my Facebook page, where I can comment on them and have a one-on-one conversation with you. I also want to show you how to make a pillar candles with this kit, but I will leave it for my next video.